On the OG Sports Show, we're going to talk some Bill Belichik. We're going to talk some New England Patriots. We're going to talk some were they cheating or were they just playing the game. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell dealt a heavy blow to Bill Belichik on a personal level, fining him $500,000 as the head coach of the New England Patriots. The team as well, the organization, was also fined $250,000 as a result of evidence found from them videotaping their opponent calling signals and calling plays. The big hoopla and the big question among radio people and sports fans is, was Bill Belichik actually cheating? I argue that he was not cheating simply because this is something that has been part of the game forever from the beginning. Any coach that can get an edge on his opponent, any coach that can figure out what the other coach is doing, that's his job. That's what makes him a coach. That's why he's at that position, to understand, interpret, and keep his team on top and have that edge when it comes to logistics on the field, when it comes to calling plays, when it comes to what are they going to do, what are we going to do. You need that edge. I also understand that there is a rule in the books, a recent rule. I believe it's a rule issued by Roger Goodell that states that you are not to videotape opponents. It's really interesting because what we have is a clash of eras. We have a clash of technology. We have a clash of old meeting new. We have Belichick here, a guy that's been doing this for years, getting edges on teams, beating the Steelers 3 and 4 years in a row for a reason. They haven't figured out what he's doing. It's part of the game, man. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. Sports that require a collective effort in which there's more than, let's say, 7 people on the field or the diamond at any given time, there's going to be communication going on between coaches and players that is visible on that field in which they're playing that sport. If that's going on, me being an opposing coach looking at what you're doing is not cheating. Me interpreting or trying to figure out the play you're calling is not cheating. It's not. It's part of the game. It's my job. It's a natural instinct in sports that if you don't cover your mouth and you call a play, I'm going to try to figure out what that play is. It's a natural thing in sports, and it's an instinct. It's an instinct. I'll give you a prime example. My DB coach at El Camino College, Steve Smits, told me before I got my first start against Fullerton, he goes, Lee, they run this play. They line up in this formation. And when they're in this formation, they run one of these 2 plays every time. If the tight end goes down to block the linebacker, it's a run. You come up and fill. If the tight end steps up, it's a pass. Either cover him if he comes forward towards you, jam him and follow him, or drop into the flat. You know how I know this, Lee? I've been playing against these guys for 15 years. They have certain things called tendencies. When you pick up on tendencies from your opponents that you play over a series of years and you dominate what they know and what they do, and you don't let them know that you know what they do, that's how you consistently beat them. That's the edge the coach gets. That's what makes a coach better. These are things that coaches do that the average lay person isn't aware of, which shocks me. But it's just something you do. It's part of the game, and it's not going to change. Now, we've progressed. We have cameras now. We have radios. We have all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, it gets tougher. I don't think it's cheating. I think it's part of the game. I think it's that coach's job to figure out what you're doing on the other side of the field. I think it's that organization's job to figure out what you're doing on the other side of that pylon. It's their job to do that. So just because there's some rule given up by the commissioner doesn't mean that it's cheating. It means that that's a rule that he made. And to be honest with you, it's not consistent. Why can't linebackers have the little microphone in their helmet just like the quarterbacks on the other side of the ball? It's like he's saying, oh, quarterbacks are way more special than linebackers, even though they're playing on opposite sides of the field. It doesn't make any sense. New rule. This is something that's in the aesthetic of professional sports, man. Baseball coaches do it. Football coaches do it. Anytime there's a game that requires a collective effort there's going to be signals called, and it's the natural instinct of the opposing team to figure out what you're doing. As far as I'm concerned, he was not cheating. He was being a good coach. This guy was probably deciphering what the hell they were doing, and that's why the Jets got mad, and they were savvy enough on their field to figure out what the Patriots were doing. And the guy had the camera. Still haven't seen the video or the tape. I hear he had the camera stuffed right up their nose too, so he almost totally got away with it. But big up for the Patriots. If they can do that and successfully do it, big ups to them. They are awesome for that. As far as I'm concerned, they're awesome for figuring out what you're doing. If your game is weak on the streets, man, and you get figured out quick, you ain't going to last. And this is the NFL. And sometimes the NFL stands for not for long for some and for many, and especially a lot of coaches that can't figure out how to play the game. Belichick knows how to play the game. He's been playing the game. Look at his record. Look at his track record. Just because he's smart enough to figure you guys out, don't hate, don't get mad. And this is an OG Sports Show exclusive only for the OGs.